You just heard the pitch from Modalyst co-founder and CEO Jill Sherman. Her company expands inventory for specialty retailers, gives their stores a little more variety. Our judges now, Tyler Newton, Catalyst Investors, John Elton from Greycroft, and Hilary from Insight Venture. Tyler, what did you think of the pitch?
I thought it was very interesting. I actually talked to my e-commerce team, and they weren't familiar with anybody doing what you're doing. So it was exciting to hear it. How were you inspired to start Modalyst?
So I had been a buyer myself, managing the buying team of a large luxury department store called Harvey Nichols, and I went through a lot of the pain points that the buyers of our stores go through. I went on extremely long buying trips. I was forced to buy inventory 6 months in advance, and I had to buy inventory with very high minimum order requirements. And so we really break that model to say this is a seasonless opportunity where buyers can source their products throughout the year, and we have a wide assortment of totally differentiated product assortments to help those stores stay above the rest.
John, what did you think?
We love the space. We're investors in New Order, which is a company in the broader space. My question is, why wouldn't someone want to do this?
That's a great question. I feel the same way. I mean, it's a perfect opportunity for brands to really distribute the inventory that they either already have on hand, as well as collect orders for pre-orders that go into production and then are sold in those stores. So I agree with you. Why wouldn't somebody use this?
Hilary.
Insight's a huge investor in marketplace, or believer in marketplace businesses, which is what you're doing, creating an online marketplace. What makes marketplaces work is liquidity, so having enough buyers and enough sellers on the platform. So how are you marketing to the buyers, and how are you getting more sellers?
Sure. So we started with a very carefully curated selection of brands, which attracted a great selection of retailers to come into the site. The brands already have retailers that they're selling to, so they bring those retailers onto the site, and the retailers love using it so much that they then expand it to or refer the brands that they're already working with. Now going forward, we focus a lot on partnerships. So on the brand side, we have partnerships across the supply chain. So that includes where they source their materials, where they manufacture their products, and actually professors at FIT are even teaching about us in their curriculum. And for retailers, we market them to we partner with companies that they're already using within their businesses, so POS systems, their email marketing campaigns, as well as we're partnered with a trend forecasting company that really brings on a lot of interest.
Jill, that's great that you're in Harvey Nichols because you know how fickle fashion is, but how much of this turnaround time between plan to the point where somebody's still interested in something trendy do you have to deal with?
So our lead time with their brands is actually just about 3 weeks, which is extraordinary. When I was buying with Harvey Nichols, we had to plan 6 months in advance. So we're really working with agile brands who are creating products closer to home, and therefore their lead times are much shorter.
Tyler, based on what you've heard, what is number one positive? What is your number one concern?
For me, going to the liquidity point, the concern would be, can you have enough high-quality inventory on the site to attract the buyers? How do you make sure you have that, and that the material is quality enough that people want to buy it?
Sure. There's a rating system that exists as well. So not only do we have referrals, but there's a report card for them to speak about whether or not a product is delivered to spec, as well as the quality of the product. So there's reviews and referrals that take place there as well.
So, John, before I ask this, I think I know what your answer is, but would you introduce Jill to your investing partners?
Absolutely. I think for us, we love the space. We get the trends you're capitalizing on. There are a couple people with similar products. My concern would be the segment of the market that you're after. The average order value is generally smaller. Dealing with a lot of the smaller boutiques and brands just adds complexity and reduces your average order value. So that would be my biggest concern with what you're doing.
Hilary, would you introduce Ms. Jill to your investing partners?
Absolutely. I think that the matching of the buyers and sellers, and I think there's a strong opportunity here to help small businesses. A lot of the small retail stores struggle to find inventory, and I think this is a great place to aggregate that inventory so that one small or several small orders look like a number of big orders to the brand. So it's exciting for both brands and for retail stores.
Thank you.
So, Jill, it sounds like 3 yeses on your birthday, no less. Thank you very much for the pitch.
Thank you.
Thank you, judges. Jill Sherman joining us there, Tyler Newton, John Elton, and Hilary Gosher.